Hello and welcome to Drishti IAS English. I am Aisha, and in today's episode we will be discussing about the UPSC CSE Prelims 2024. So the UPSC CSE Prelims 2024 has just completed, and GS paper 1 and GS paper 2, that is CSAT, both have taken place, and now we will be analyzing the UPSC CSE Prelims 2024 paper, and we will be doing it subject wise. So today the subject that we will be discussing is current affairs, and the next subject which we will be coming is history. So today evening you will get another episode on the analysis of UPSC CSE Prelims 2024, and that will be on history. So if we will talk about the UPSC CSE Prelims 2024, it consisted of 100 questions. Paper was of 2 hours, and if we will talk about the question paper, then it is being predicted this time that the cutoff will be on a higher note as compared to the last year, because looking at the nature of the question. So if we will go by the question, I will just show you the questions of current affairs. So we can talk about that this year's the elimination technique, the much talked about elimination technique of UPSC, which we could not see in the last year and last to last year, that is 2022 and 2023. The elimination technique this year is back, and there were many questions which could be solved because of the elimination technique. And then again extreme the extreme words or statement, the extreme words or statements could be seen this year also, like for example only, else, suddenly, drastically, or etc. And looking at the nature of the subject, we can say that polity was dominant and was static, and then comes geography and environment was also very dominant, and they were both static. Map based questions were also very much could be seen in the paper. There were around 7 to 8 questions which were completely map based. And then economy, if we talk about, then economy can be seen that it was moderate to difficult, because economy questions people are getting wrong. So now let's begin with the analysis of the current affairs. So let's begin, and the questions that we are giving you and the numbering is according to the set D, that is set D. So current affairs question in set D, first was question number 8, and it talked about operations undertaken by the army towards the upliftment of the local population in remote areas to include addressing of their basic needs is called Operation Sankalp, Operation Maitri, Operation Sadbhavna, or Operation Madad. So the correct answer of this question is option C, that is Operation Sadbhavna. So Operation Sadbhavna is a humanitarian initiative. So it is a humanitarian initiative of the Indian Army, which was aimed at improving the social and economic conditions of the people of remote areas through various welfare activities, including running schools, developing infrastructure, and promoting national integration tours. The Indian Army aims to empower the local population, empowerment of the local population by Indian Army, and providing them employment opportunities, and support education, thus contributing to nation building efforts. So if we will see the question, operations undertaken by the army, so Operation Sadbhavna by the army towards the upliftment of the local population, yes, local population, Indian Army in remote areas, yes, to include addressing of their basic needs. So the correct answer for question number 8 is option C. Now next question. Now next comes the question number 15. Consider the following properties including in the World Heritage List which is released by the UNESCO. So there is a World Heritage List which is released by the UNESCO. So there were 4 options, that is Shanti Niketan, Rani Ki Vav, Sacred Assembles of the Hoysalas, and then Mahabodhi Temple Complex at Bodh Gaya. How many of the above properties were included in 2023? So the question is not asking that how many are included in the World Heritage List of UNESCO. It is asking that how many are included in the year 2023 specifically. So there are which are included, these options are included in the World Heritage List, but not all are included in 2023. So codes are only one, only two, only three, or all four. Let's see. First of all, let's talk about the Shanti Niketan. So Shanti Niketan is established by Rabindra Nath Tagore and was a residential. So it is a residential school and center for art which is based on ancient Indian traditions and a vision of the unity of humanity transcending religious and cultural boundaries. So Shantiniketan has been recognized by UNESCO as the 41st World Heritage Site. 41st World Heritage Site, and the year is 2023. So yes, Shantiniketan is the correct answer. Then comes second, that is Rani Ki Vav. So Rani Ki Vav is situated on the bank of a river and the name of the river is Saraswati River. It was initially built as a memorial to a king in the 11th century AD, and Rani Ki Vav has been recognized by UNESCO as the 32nd World Heritage Site. So it is also a World Heritage Site and it is the 32nd World Heritage Site, but it was not included in the year 2023. It was included in the year 2014. 2014. So Rani Ki Vav becomes wrong. Next comes the Sacred Assembles of the Hoysalas. So the Sacred Assembles of the Hoysala, the famed Hoysala temple of Belur Helibid and Somantapur in Karnataka. So where it is situated? It is situated in Karnataka. They have been added to the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, that is the full form of UNESCO, World Heritage List in the year is 2023. So, and this inclusion made it the 42nd UNESCO World Heritage Site. So, Sacred Assembles of the Hoysalas are 42nd World Heritage Site and the year is 2023. So, they become correct. Then Mahabodhi Temple Complex at Bodh Gaya. So the Mahabodhi Temple Complex is one of the 4 holy sites related to the life of the Lord Buddha. So it is related to the life of Lord Buddha and particularly to the attainment of enlightenment. The Mahabodhi Temple Complex has been recognized by UNESCO as the 23rd World Heritage Site list, and the year is not 2023, the year is 2002. So this is also wrong. So if we will talk about Shantiniketan and Hoysalas are 2023, while Rani Ki Vav is 2014 and Mahabodhi Temple is 2002. So the correct answer of this option becomes, of this question becomes option B, that is only 2. Next question, that is consider the following countries. So there are 5 countries given, that is Italy, Japan, Nigeria, South Korea and South Africa. And the question is asking which of the above countries are frequently mentioned in the media for their low birth rate or aging population or declining population. So out of these 5 countries, which countries remains in news with regard to low birth rate, aging population or declining population? So I think we in normal life also hears the name of few of these countries. I know that not all are known by people, but there are few countries out of these 5 that which we hear about in our day-to-day life. So the codes are 1, 2 and 4, 1, 3 and 5, 2 and 4, 3 and 5 only. So the correct answer for this is option A, that is 1, 2 and 4, that is Italy, Japan and South Korea. So let us talk about, first of all, about these countries, that is Italy, Japan and South Korea. So let us first talk about those 2 countries which very much remains in news because of the low birth rate. It means that the children or the infants are not taking birth in the country. So let us first talk about the South Korea. So South Korea is an Asian nation. It lies in the Asia continent. And if we talk about the fertility rate, so the fertility rate of South Korea is lowest. The fertility rate of South Korea is lowest in the world. So around the whole globe, the country which has the lowest fertility rate is the South Korea. And the United Nations has already given a warning that with regard to the year 2100, South Korea will have only half of its population left if it will keep on going with the rate at which it is going as of now. So South Korea. And the second country which has low birth rate and the aging population or declining population is Japan, and Japan is the prime most example of the low birth rate. So if we will talk about Japan, then in the year 2023 there were only 7.58 lakh children which were born. So you can imagine the numbers of the infants born or the numbers of the births are declining. So in 2023, 7.58 lakh births were recorded, which is 5.1% less as compared to the year 2022. So as compared to the year 2022, it is 5.1% less. So second example is Japan. Then comes the third, and that is Italy. And the year 2023 has been very bad for Italy with regard to the birth rate. So the birth rate has been observed very low. And if we talk about the fertility rate, so the fertility rate, that is the fertility rate of Italy has now reduced to 1.2%. So the fertility rate in Italy has reduced to 1.2% per female. So per female, which is very less, and Italy, if will be going by this rate, then in the coming time, the replacement ratio will be very less and the population of Italy will also be declining. And then if we talk about the other two options, that is Nigeria and South Africa. So Nigeria and South Africa are both African countries. And if we talk about the population, then Asian and African countries as of now is performing well with regard to the population. And if we talk about Asia, then Japan and South Korea are the two countries which are lagging behind. So the correct answer of this is option A, that is 1, 2 and 4. Next, this is question number 21. Consider the following statements regarding Nari Shakti Vandhan Adhiniyam. Nari Shakti Vandhan Adhiniyam. There are three statements. First, provisions will come into effect from the 18th Lok Sabha. Second, this will be in force for 15 years after becoming an act. Third, there are provisions for the reservation of seats for scheduled caste women within the quota reserved for the scheduled caste. Which of the statement given above are correct? Codes are 1, 2 and 3, 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only. So the correct answer of this question is option C, that is 2 and 3 only. So let us talk about the Nari Shakti Vandhan Adhiniyam, and the year is 2023. So if we talk about the Constitution 106th Amendment Act 2023, it reserves 1/3 of the seats in the Lok Sabha. So it reserves 1/3 of the seats in the Lok Sabha, then state assemblies and the legislative assemblies of National Capital Territory of Delhi for women, including seats reserved for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. So scheduled caste and scheduled tribes seats were also reserved, and women within the quota were also reserved for the scheduled caste. So third statement becomes correct. Then comes the second statement, that is it will be in force for 15 years after becoming an act. So the reservation will take effect after the publication of the census. So after the publication of the census, it will be into effect, and the census will be conducted after the enactment of the act and will also remain in operation for a period of 15 years. So it will be in force for 15 years after becoming an act. So second statement also becomes Correct. Now let's talk about the first, that is provisions will come into effect from the 18th Lok Sabha. So the census and delimitation. So there are two acts which will be observed, that is the census and the delimitation. So the census and delimitation will be done after the elections of the 18th Lok Sabha, and that has now taken place, and even the result has been announced. So the census and delimitation will be done after the elections of the 18th Lok Sabha, and only then the act will be implemented. While the statement talks about provisions will come into effect from the 18th Lok Sabha, no, delimitation also needs to be done. So first becomes wrong. So in this, second and third is correct. So the correct answer becomes option C. Now this is question number 22. Which of the following statements about exercise Mitra Shakti 2023 are correct? So there are 4 statements given, and we have to select the correct code. First, this was a joint military exercise between India and Bangladesh. Second, it commenced in Aundh, Pune. Third, joint response during counter-terrorism operation was a goal of this operation. Fourth, Indian Air Force was a part of this exercise. So if we will talk about the codes, then it is 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 4, 1, 3 and 4, 2, 3 and 4. So the correct answer of this question is option D, that is 2, 3 and 4. So let us read this. So this was the 9th edition of the joint military exercise, that is exercise Mitra Shakti 2023, and it was conducted between India and Sri Lanka. So it is not Bangladesh, it happens between India and Sri Lanka. So first becomes wrong. And then it commenced in Aundh, Pune, this is correct. Then comes that the scope of the exercise includes synergizing joint response during counter-terrorist operations. So counter-terrorist operation, therefore third also becomes correct. And then 15 personnel from the Indian Air Force. In total there were 15 personnel from the Indian Air Force and 5 personnel from Sri Lankan Air Force participated in the exercise. So fourth also becomes correct. So the correct answer becomes 2, 3 and 4. So first was wrong. So if in this question you will see that if anyone would know that exercise Mitra Shakti is between India and Sri Lanka and not Bangladesh, and they would have done first wrong. So automatically if one knows that the first is wrong, so you will be able to eliminate the first option, that is, so without even reading the second, third and fourth option, you would have got to the correct answer, because all other options has first. Now next question, this is question number 26. Who of the following is the author of the books The India Way and Why Bharat Matters? So these two books, The India Way and Why Bharat Matters, were very much in news this year, and the 2023 and even 2024. And so who is the author of this book? Bhupendra Yadav, Nalin Mehta, Shashi Tharoor, Subramaniam Jaishankar. So the correct answer is option D, that is Subramaniam Jaishankar. And who is Subramaniam Jaishankar? Subramaniam Jaishankar is an Indian diplomat and politician, and he is as of now serving as the Minister of External Affairs of the Government of India, and the year is since 2019. He has authored the following books, and that is The India Way and Bharat Matters. So the India Way, which talks about strategies for an uncertain world, that is in the year 2020, and then Why Bharat Matters in the year 2024. Therefore option D is the correct answer. Next, this is question number 27. Consider the following pairs. In one side the country is given, while on the other side reason for being in the news. So there are 3 countries, that is Argentina, worst economic crisis; Sudan, war between the country's regular army and paramilitary forces; third is Turkey, rescinded its membership of NATO. How many of the pairs given above are correctly matched? Only one pair, only two pair, all three pairs, none of the pairs. So Argentina, if we talk about, Argentina is a South American country, Sudan is Africa, and Turkey is which? Turkey is the connecting link between Europe and Asia. So let us see. First, if we will talk about Argentina, then as of now, Argentina is, yes, it is going through worst economic crisis. So worst economic crisis, it is one of world's highest inflation rate. So it has one of the world's highest inflation rates. And then the economy it has stagnated, economy stagnation, and the poverty is rising, and it is on the brink of economic collapse. Then it is persistent public overspending financed by money creation. Now this is also one of the major problem with Argentina, that the overspending is financed by the money creation. So the money is being created and the money is being printed on a regular basis. So this is about Argentina, and Argentina is going through one of the worst economic crisis. Now next comes, and that is Sudan. Now let us talk about Sudan. So war between the country's regular army and paramilitary forces. This is also correct. So if we talk about Sudan, Sudan is an African country, and at least 185 people have been killed and around 1800 people have been wounded since the fighting has begun between the Sudanese army and paramilitary forces. And the conflict traces back to the year 2019, when Sudan's long-serving president, that is Omar al-Bashir, was overthrown by the military generals. So there was war. Therefore, Sudan is also correct. Then comes the next country, and that is Turkey. So Turkey is a member of NATO. So Turkey is a member of NATO since the year 1952 and plays a significant role within the alliance due to its strategic location and military capabilities. Therefore, Argentina and Sudan is correct while Turkey is wrong because it is a member of NATO. Therefore, how many are correct? First is correct, second is correct. Therefore, the correct answer becomes option B, that is only 2. Next, this is question number 41. Consider the following statement. So, there are two statements, statement 1 and statement 2. First statement talks about there is instability and worsening security situation in the Sahel region. Statement 2, there have been military takeovers and coups in several countries of the Sahel region in the recent past. Which one of the following is correct in respect of the above statements? Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, and statement 2 explains statement 1. Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, but statement 2 does not explain statement 1. Statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is incorrect. Statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is correct. So, the answer for this question is option A, that both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct and statement 2 explains statement 1. Let us first see. If we talk about the Sahel region, so Sahel region lies in the African continent. In the African continent, and it basically lies below the Sahara region. So this is the Sahara region, Sahara desert you can say. So this is Sahara region is a arid region. Then below the Sahara region lies the Sahel region. So this is the Sahel region. This is semi-arid area. And if we will talk about the Sahel region, then Sahel region is also becoming a point of concern, so that even though as of now it is semi-arid, it should not convert into arid region, and that is why there is a concept of green wall. there is a concept of green wall in the Sahel region, which is being a long stretch of trees are being planted is in the Sahel region, so that the extension of the Sahel region does not take place to the southern side. And if we will talk about the countries of the Sahel region, then it is Mauritania, Mali, Niger, Chad, Sudan. So these are the countries of the Sahel region, and Sahel region, which is home to these countries, has witnessed political instability and ethnic tension and the worsening security situation in the Sahel region. And one of the major reasons for this is the military takeovers and coups that happens in the several countries of the Sahel region, like for example Mali, like for example Sudan, and Sudan is just what we saw. So the Sahel region is very unstable politically. Therefore, the correct answer of this question is option A. Now, next question. This is question number 46. Consider the following statements. There are two statements, statement 1 and statement 2, and we have to talk about which of the following is correct in respect of the above statements. So, first statement is the European Parliament approved the Net Zero Industry Act recently. Second, the European Union intends to achieve carbon neutrality by 2040 and therefore aims to develop all of its own clean technology by that time. So we have to talk about the correct statement. Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, and statement 1 explains the statement 2. Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, but statement 2 does not explain statement 1. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. Statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is correct. So the correct answer of this question is option C. That is, statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. So let's see. Recently, the European Parliament, it has approved the Net Zero Industry Act. Net Zero Industry Act. So first becomes correct. To bolster European Union production in technologies needed for decarbonization. Decarbonization. The European Union has said it is aiming to become the first major economy to go climate neutral. Climate neutral, and by which year? It is not by 2040, it is by 2050. So it is not by 2040, it is by 2050. Therefore, the second statement becomes wrong. So the correct answer becomes option C. That is, first is correct, that yes, European Parliament approved the Net Zero Industry Act, and second is wrong because it is not 2040, it is 2050. Therefore, statement option C is correct, that is, the statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is incorrect. Next is question number 47, and it is consider the following statement. There are two statements, statement 1 and statement 2. We have to talk about the correct option. Statement 1 talks about recently Venezuela has achieved a rapid recovery from its economic crisis and succeeded in preventing its people from fleeing or emigrating to other countries. Second, Venezuela has the world's largest oil reserves. So, options, both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, and statement 2 explains statement 1. Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, but statement 2 does not explain statement 1. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. Statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is correct. So the correct option or the correct answer of this question is option D. That is, statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is correct. Let's see why statement 1 is wrong. So with an exodus of more than 7.72 million people since the year 2014. So since the year 2014, 7.72 million people have fled from the country Venezuela, and Venezuela is a South American country and it lies in the northern portion of the South America. The refugee crisis is one of the major problems of Venezuela, and the refugee crisis in Venezuela is the largest displacement crisis in Latin America and one of the largest in the world. Largest displacement crisis in Latin America. See, these kind of words which you have to write, and now the means you people will be preparing for the second stage of the examination, that is your means preparation. So these kind of words, keywords, you will have to note down. And of the 7.72 million people, almost 84% settled in Latin America and the Caribbean and faced significant challenges assessing food, housing and livelihood. Therefore, first statement becomes wrong. Now let's talk about the second statement. In the year 2021, crude oil reserves in Venezuela reached close to 304 billion barrels. 304 billion barrels, which is more than triple the figure reported at the beginning of the previous decade. Venezuela boosted the largest crude oil reserves worldwide. Therefore, second statement becomes correct, and the answer for this question is option D. That is, statement 1 is incorrect and statement 2 is correct. Next question. This is question number 48. With reference to the Digital India Land Record Modernization Program, consider the following statements. There are 3 statements and we have to talk about the correct statement. First, to implement the scheme, the central government provides 100% funding. Second, under the scheme, cadastral maps are digitized. Third, an initiative has been undertaken to transliterate the records of rights from local language to any of the languages recognized by the Constitution of India. How many are correct statement? 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. So the correct answer of this question is option D, that is 1, 2 and 3. All 3 are correct. The Digital India Land Record Modernization Program, which is DILRMP, and earlier it was the National Land Record Modernization Program. It was revamped and converted as a central sector scheme. It was revamped and converted as the central sector scheme with effect from 1st April 2016, and 100% funding is by the center. 100% funding is by the center. Therefore, option 1 becomes correct. Second, digitization of cadastral maps is one of the major components and activities of the Digital India Land Record Modernization Program. Therefore, second also becomes correct. In order to address the problem of linguistic barriers in land governance, the government, with the technical support of Center for Development of Advanced Computing, Pune, has undertaken an initiative to transliterate the records of rights available in local language to any of the 22 languages of the Schedule 8th of the Constitution. Therefore, statement 3 also becomes correct, and the correct answer of this question is option D, that is 1, 2 and 3. Next, this is question number 49. With reference to the Pradhan Mantri Surakshit Matritva Abhiyan, consider the following statements. There are 2 statements and we have to talk about the correct statement. First, this scheme guarantees a minimum package of antenatal care services to women in their 2nd and 3rd trimesters of pregnancy and 6 months post-delivery health care service in any government health facility. Second, under this scheme, private sector health care providers of certain specialties can volunteer to provide services at nearby government health facilities. Codes are 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer of this is option B, that is 2 only. So first is wrong, second is correct. Now let us talk about the Pradhan Mantri Surakshit Matritva Abhiyan. It was launched to provide fixed day. Assured, comprehensive and quality antenatal care universally to all pregnant women, and the trimester is 2nd and 3rd on the 9th of every month. So 9th of every month. As part of the campaign, a minimum package of antenatal care services are provided to the pregnant women in their 2nd and 3rd trimester at government health facilities. But the scheme does not provide 6 months post-delivery healthcare service in any government facilities. So this is not provided. and this is why this statement is wrong. So half of the statement is correct, but the second half is incorrect. So the statement becomes incorrect. Then a national portal for PMSMA and a mobile application have been developed to facilitate the engagement of doctors from the private and voluntary sector. So private sector healthcare providers for certain specialties can volunteer to provide services at nearby government health facilities becomes correct. Therefore, first is wrong and second is correct. So the correct answer is option B, that is 2 only. Next, this is question number 50. With reference to the Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Mandhan Yojana, consider the following statements. We have to talk about the correct statement and there are 4 statements. The entry age group for enrollment in the scheme is 21 to 40 years. Age specific contribution shall be made by the beneficiary, age specific. Each subscriber under the scheme shall receive a minimum pension of 3000 per month after attaining the age of 60 years. Family pension is applicable to the spouse and unmarried daughters. So, correct statement. Codes are 1, 3 and 4, 2 and 3 only, 2 only, 1, 2 and 4. The correct answer is option B, that is 2 and 3 only. So, 2 and 3 are correct while 1 and 4 are incorrect. Let us look at it. So, the Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Mandhan Yojana is a voluntary. So, is a voluntary and contributory pension scheme. So, it is a pension scheme for unorganized workers. So, this is for unorganized workers and the entry age is 18 to 40 years with maximum monthly income of rupees 15,000 or less. Hence, statement 1 is not correct, which is saying that the entry age group is 21 to 40. No, it is not 21 to 40, it is 18 to 40. Then, it is a voluntary and contributory pension scheme on a 50-50 basis. So, it is on a 50-50 basis where prescribed age specific contribution shall be made by the beneficiary, age specific contribution by the beneficiary and the matching contribution by the central government. So, second becomes correct. Then third, on attaining the age of 60 year, the subscriber will get the assured monthly pension of rupees 3000 per month. Therefore, third is also correct. Now, fourth, if the beneficiary dies, the spouse of the beneficiary shall be entitled to receive 50% of the pension as family pension. Family pension is applicable only to the spouses, not to the unmarried daughters. So, only to spouses, not to the unmarried daughters. Therefore, fourth becomes wrong. So, the correct answer of this is option B, that is 2 and 3 only. Next, now this is question number 64. Consider the following statements regarding World Toilet Organization. We have to talk about the correct statement. There are 3 statements given. It is one of the agencies of the United Nations. World Toilet Summit, World Toilet Day and World Toilet College are the initiatives of this organization to inspire action to tackle the global sanitation crisis. The main focus of its function is to grant funds to the least developed countries and developing countries to achieve the end of open defecation. Codes are 2 only, 3 only, 1 and 2, 2 and 3. So, let's see. The correct answer of this is option A, that is 2 only. So, first and third is wrong. So, if we will talk about the World Toilet Organization, so it is a non-profit organization which is committed to improving toilet and sanitation conditions. So, toilet and sanitation conditions worldwide. It was granted consultative status with the United Nations Economic and Social Council in 2013. So, consultative status. It is not the agency of United Nations. Then, World Toilet Organization established World Toilet Day and the World Toilet Summit in the year 2001. This was followed by the World Toilet College in the year 2005. Therefore, statement 2 is correct. Then, World Toilet Organization provides an international platform for toilet associations, governments, academic institutions, foundations, UN agencies and corporate stakeholders to exchange knowledge and leverage media and cooperate support. Leverage media and cooperate support in an effort to promote clean sanitation and public health policies. Therefore, statement 3 becomes incorrect. So, the correct answer for this is option 2, that is 2 only. Next, this is question number 65. Consider the following statements. We have to talk about the correct statement. First, lions do not have a particular breeding season. Unlike most other big cats, cheetahs do not roar. Unlike male lions, male leopards do not proclaim their territory by scent marking. Correct statement, and the codes are 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. Therefore, the correct answer of this is option A, that is option A is 1 and 2. So let's see. Lions have no specific breeding season. So no specific breeding season. And cubs are produced roughly every 2 years. Every 2 years. The average gestation is between 3 to 4 months. So gestation period is between 3 to 4 months. And the litter size usually ranges from 1 to 4 cubs. Therefore, first is correct, that it do not have a particular breeding season. Now, cheetahs belong to the purring cats. Cheetahs, it belongs to the purring cats subfamily, and as such they do not roar. So, they do not roar. Therefore, second also becomes correct. Both male and female leopards, if we talk about leopards, that is third statement. Both male and female leopards, they use urine to mark their territories. And often after urinating, a male will then scrape the ground to transfer the scent of his urine onto his feet. So, urine onto his feet to be carried during territorial boundary patrols. Therefore, statement 3 is incorrect, because it talks about that they do not, but they do. Therefore, the correct answer is 1 and 2 only, that is option A. Next is question number 66. Which of the following is the correct description of 100 million farmers? A. It is a platform for accelerating the transition towards food and water systems that are net zero, nature positive, and that aims to increase farmer resilience. B. It is an international alliance and a network of individuals and farming organizations interested in supporting and strengthening the development of the organic animal husbandry. C. It is a digital platform fully integrated with service providers and built on blockchain that lets buyers, sellers, and third parties trade fertilizers quickly and securely. D. It is a platform with the mission of encouraging the farmers to form farmer product organizations or agribusiness consortiums, thus facilitating the access to global open market to sell their products. Therefore, the correct answer of this is option A, that is 100 million farmers. This is an initiative of the World Economic Forum, and it is a platform which supports private and public lenders to position food and farmers as central pillars of the global climate and nature agenda, and accelerate collective action to scale climate and nature friendly agricultural practices. It has bold objectives for accelerating the transition towards food and water systems that are net zero, nature positive, and that aims to increase farmer resilience by the year 2030. Therefore, the correct answer is option A. Next, now this is the last question of the current affairs episode, and this is question number 95. Consider the following aircraft, that is Rafale, MiG-29, Tejas Mk-1. How many of the above are considered fifth generation fighter aircraft? Only one, only two, all three, none. So the correct answer is option D, that is none. If we talk about the fifth generation fighter jets, then they have stealth capabilities and they can cruise at supersonic speeds without engaging afterburners. At present, the fifth generation jets are possessed by Russia, that is Sukhoi Su-57, then China, that is Chengdu J-20, and US, that is F-35 and F-22. Therefore, none of the above aircrafts are fifth generation fighter aircraft. Therefore, the correct answer for this is option D, that is none. And this was the last question of the current affairs episode, and the next episode which will be uploaded for you will be the analysis of the subject history. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading, keep writing, and keep subscribing to the channel. Thank you.